All right, everybody. This is Longo here, about to talk to you about the law of sines. Now, law of sines is another form of trigonometry that we're going to use in triangles, but this time it does not have to be a right triangle, like we learned with using SOHCAHTOA. So, law of sines you can use for an obtuse triangle, an acute triangle, or a right triangle if you really wanted to. And what we're going to do is find missing sides and missing angles. Now, you can do it with any type of triangle, but you need to have certain information. You need to have two angles and a side, or you can have two sides as long as one of the angles is opposite of one of the sides, based on what the law of sines is. Okay? So we're just going to kind of step through it. First of all, the formula for the law of sines is sine of big A over little a is equal to the sine of big B over little b is equal to the sine of big C over little c. Now, you're probably wondering what the difference between a big A and a little a and all that is. Well, the capital letters are always your angle measures. So over here we see that we have triangle ABC. The capital letters represent the vertex, which are angles of the triangle. Little a represents the side opposite of big A. Little b represents the side opposite of big B, and little c represents the side opposite of big C. So basically, the law of sines is the sine of the angle over the side opposite of that angle. That's what it represents. Okay? Now, I can tell you that when you're working with angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle, basically you have two angles. So it's really easy to say that the next angle is going to be 180 minus those two angles. So angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side are pretty easy to work with. It just requires two steps. So what we're going to do is, for the purpose of this video, we're going to use the side-side angle pattern, because this way you're going to see how to use your calculator to find sides and how to find angles. Now, of course, the most important thing is, can you set it up? So when you're working with the law of sines, the first thing you want to do is look for a big B and a little b, a big A and a little a, and a big C and a little c. But you have to have answers for both. That's why we're going to go with big B and little b, because you must have numbers for both of them. So in this case, we have the sine of 64 over the side that's opposite, which in this case is 30. And then what you do is you set it equal to another pair, angle and sides, that you have information for. So we don't have a big A or a little a, so our next has to be with the C for now. Now, we do not know what angle C is, so we're just going to say that that's the sine of big C over 20. Okay, and from here it's just algebra and being able to use your calculator. So the first thing you need to do here is cross multiply. So the first thing we do is 20 times the sine of 64, and we can actually just write 20 times the sine of 64, and that's going to be equal to 30 sine C. Okay, so if you want, you could type 20 sine of 64 in the calculator, click enter, and you're going to get 17.975 yada yada yada, and that's equal to 30 sine C. But now we need to get sine of C by itself, so we need to divide both sides by 30. So without typing anything new with your calculator, just press divided by 30, and you're going to get this 0.5991, and that's equal to the sine of C. So this is just like using SOHCAHTOA, where you have to know how to use your calculator. So when you are looking for an angle, remember you need to use inverse trig. So you need to do inverse sine of both sides, and that will give you angle C is equal to, and in this case we're just going to press second sign. And instead of typing that number, just press second and the negative button. It'll say use the previous answer. And then you just click enter. And for angle C, we get 36.8 degrees. Okay? So that's how we use our calculator to find a missing angle when you're using the law of sines. So we're going to find all the missing pieces here. So we're just going to go back, and we already know that little c is 20. We know little b is 30. We know that big B is 64, and now we know that big C is 36.8. And of course, our angles are always in degrees. So now that we have two angles of a triangle, we can just find angle A by subtracting our first given angle, 64, and the angle we just found, which is 36.8. And after we click enter, we get angle A is 79.2 degrees. Okay, so now we have enough information to find little a. So to do that, we're going to need to use the law of sines one more time, but again, most importantly is setting it up correctly. Okay, so now we're going to show you how to use the law of sines to find a side length. So I always use the original given, because if you accidentally find C wrong, then you're in trouble with the others. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that the sine of 64 over 30, again, is equal to, but now we're going to use A. So we know that angle A is 79.2 degrees. So we're going to say that the sine of 79.2 over our little a. And again, it's just cross multiplying. So the first thing you do is cross multiply, and you get 30 times the sine of 79.2 is equal to A times the sine of 64. So in your calculator, you can type 30 sine of 79.2, and you're going to get 29.468 yada 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 is equal to A sine of 64. So now to get A, all you have to do is divide both sides by the sine of 64. So your calculator, you do not want to type in the sine of 64 and get a decimal, because from here you can just press divided by the sine of 64. Your calculator knows that value, so once you click enter, it's going to give you that little a is equal to 32.8. So now we have all missing sides done. So that is the law of sines. Most importantly, obviously, is the setup, but once you have it set up, you just have to know how to use your calculator. So that's it for the law of sines. This is Longo, and I'm out. See you, bye.